Beloved, I know you still think about them. I know there are nights you lie awake wondering if it was your fault, if you said the wrong thing, if you could have held on a little longer. But I must tell you something urgently, and I pray you listen with your soul and not just your ears. They were removed for your protection. You didn't lose them. Heaven removed them. Because God saw what you didn't. And no matter how much your heart may still reach for them, no matter how familiar their voice still sounds in your memory, the truth is that they were never meant to stay. You asked for peace, and God sent a sword to cut away what was pretending to love you. You asked for alignment, and heaven had to shake everything that was out of order. This message finds you now because your spirit has been crying for closure, and I have been assigned to bring it to you. This isn't just about a relationship. It's about destiny. It's about divine timing. It's about who you are becoming. There is someone you still grieve, someone who walked away, or maybe someone you had to let go despite the war it started inside your chest. But the Spirit of God says, that was the turning point. That was the detachment heaven needed to release what is next. Yes, they meant something to you. But they didn't mean you well. There were things hidden behind smiles, motives you couldn't see, intentions you didn't hear in their voice, but God saw everything. And when He removed them, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Your heart called it loss. But your spirit knows it was a divine rescue. I know you loved them. I know you prayed for them. Maybe you even saw signs that they were the one, or that the friendship was heaven sent, or that they were part of your forever story. But beloved, not everyone that walks with you is meant to walk into your promise. Some people were only assigned to the wilderness, not the promised land. And when God moves you forward, He won't let you carry what can't survive your next level. So here's what I must say to you, don't call them back. Don't chase what God closed. Don't try to revive what heaven allowed to die. I watched you plead for answers. I heard your late-night whispers asking why they changed. I saw how heavy your soul became trying to decode silence, confusion, and mixed signals. But the truth is God didn't want you guessing anymore. He didn't want you begging to be seen, to be chosen, to be loved properly. So He stepped in. He allowed a separation you couldn't explain, because He was protecting you from a heartbreak you didn't see coming. Beloved, this isn't punishment. This is preparation. You are not being denied. You are being delivered. There's nothing wrong with your heart. It's just that your heart was given to someone who wasn't equipped to carry it. They weren't evil. But they weren't complete. They weren't ready. And you were trying to build a future with someone still battling their past. You were making sacrifices, they were making excuses. You were faithful in prayer, they were faithful in pretending. And so heaven stepped in, and not to hurt you, but to help you heal. You didn't lose them. You were lifted from them. You were rescued. You were protected. You were preserved for a greater purpose. So let me say it again, don't call them back. I know the silence is loud. I know the history is real. I know your loyalty runs deep. But the same God who removed them is the same God who is preparing someone who won't make you question your worth every week. You asked for a soul connection. But you were holding on to a soul lesson. And the lesson has now ended. The test has been graded. The final bell has rung. And now, it's time to release them in your mind, your memories, and your imagination. Yes, you can miss them and still move forward. Yes, you can grieve them and still grow. But you must not go back. You must not shrink yourself into the person you used to be just to keep company with someone who never planned to grow beside you. This next chapter requires your full presence. There's a new alignment being written in the spiritual realm, one that includes people who match your growth, who mirror your healing, who honor your time and recognize your soul. But heaven cannot send the new while you are still entertaining the old in your thoughts. So I ask you, in love, what are you still clinging to that God has already buried? What door are you still staring at, hoping it opens again, while missing the one that just unlocked on your right? Beloved, some people were the storm that looked like shelter. Some connections were karma disguised as comfort. Some relationships were mirrors, showing you what still needed healing and not what would last forever. But here's the good news, you passed the test. You stayed soft-hearted. You kept showing up. You gave, you forgave, and you grew. And now, heaven has recorded your surrender. Now the angel of divine justice is moving. Now the restoration begins. And yes, some of that restoration will come in the form of new people, divinely chosen souls who speak your language, who protect your peace, who pour into your spirit instead of draining it. But that can only happen if you stay out of what God already rescued you from. You can't build a temple on broken trust. You can't enter a new dimension with the weight of old trauma still tied to a name you weren't supposed to carry into your future. So let it fall away. Let the silence stand. Let the unanswered questions remain unanswered. You don't need closure when God has already given new confirmation. You don't need a reunion when heaven gave you revelation. The blessing wasn't in their return, it's in your release. Now take a deep breath, beloved. Exhale the old timelines. Inhale the present grace. Because this is the moment your healing takes root. This is the moment heaven releases the people who are actually sent by God, not filtered through your hopes, but aligned with your purpose. I know this isn't easy. I know there are days you still reach for your phone, half hoping for a message, half praying that maybe, just maybe, they've changed. I know your memories feel like they're carved into your soul. But I must remind you again, just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's still faithful to your future. Familiar doesn't always mean safe. It only means known. And God is now asking you to walk with Him into the unknown, to trust that what lies ahead is better than what you lost behind. You are not alone in this release. Heaven is walking beside you in the letting go. You are shedding a chapter, not your worth. You are releasing an illusion, not your destiny. And though you may feel empty right now, that emptiness is sacred. That space is holy. It's where the new things will grow. It's where divine replacements will begin to take shape. There are angels assigned to your emotional restoration, even now. I see them pouring comfort into the aching places in your spirit. I see them placing healing oil on the moments you don't talk about, the ones where you broke down in secret, whispering through tears, "Why wasn't I enough?" But beloved, you were never the problem. Your presence was too powerful for someone who hadn't met themselves yet. You were trying to build a forever connection with someone who didn't even know how to be present in today. And now, heaven is confirming something you've needed to hear for so long. You were always enough. Not because you tried harder, not because you loved deeper, but because you were chosen. You didn't get left behind. You got set apart. And when God sets you apart, He also sets new things in motion. The shift is already underway. Doors that once rejected you will now recognize you. People who overlooked you will now remember you. Opportunities that were blocked will now burst open. But you must keep your heart open and your spirit unburdened. That's why this separation had to happen. Some of you were too tied to a version of love that felt like survival. You confused attachment with intimacy. You confused consistency with commitment. But God is now teaching you the difference. Real love doesn't have to be chased. It doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't come and go like the wind. It stays. It sees. It chooses you over and over again, even when you forget how to choose yourself. And that's what's coming next. Heaven is sending someone who will not just see you but recognize your soul. Someone who will not leave when things get difficult. Someone who has been through the same fire and came out refined, not bitter. Someone who is being prepared right now, just like you. So I say again, don't call them back. Don't lower your frequency to match what once felt familiar. Don't re-enter a cycle you begged God to deliver you from. You've already crossed through too much pain to turn around now. Let them go in peace. Release them to their journey. Pray for their growth without tying your identity to their return. That's the strength of your healing, when you can bless what broke you, but still move forward without bitterness. And let me say this clearly, the people God removes are not your punishment. They are part of your pruning. He is cutting back what is not bearing fruit so that you can grow without hindrance. He is removing distractions so you can recognize destiny. He is breaking old soul ties so that new covenant relationships can be formed. Because what's coming isn't casual. It's kingdom. The next connection in your life will not just feel good, it will be divinely aligned. You won't have to guess where you stand. You won't have to beg for clarity. You won't have to twist yourself into shapes just to feel worthy. They will know. And you will feel peace, not pressure. You will feel calm, not confusion. You will feel secure, not silenced. But first, beloved, you must finish letting go. You must unclench your fists, not just emotionally but spiritually. You must surrender the fantasy of what you thought could be, in order to receive the reality of what God is about to do. Because God is not recycling your past. He is revealing something brand new. He is restoring what was lost, yes, but not by returning what was broken, by redeeming your future. You may not see it yet, but the spiritual blueprint has already been drawn. I see the names of people being written in alignment with your name. I see introductions being planned. I see conversations that will spark destiny. I see healing happening at the speed of surrender. And I must tell you what few will say. You don't have to heal alone anymore. Heaven is sending people who will love you through the healing. People who don't flinch at your scars. People who honor the version of you that had to fight to survive. People who will build with you, not break you. People who will speak life into you when the world tries to silence you. That is what this separation was making room for. That is what this painful goodbye was preparing you to receive. So yes, grieve. But also, expect. Mourn what was, but prepare for what is coming. Because it's already in motion. In the spirit, I see chains breaking off your emotional memory. I see cords of shame and guilt being cut from your past. I see your name surrounded in light. And I hear heaven saying, it is time. They're ready now. So lift your head, beloved. You are not broken. You are blooming. You are not behind. You are becoming. This is not the end of love for you, this is the start of real love. Love that doesn't require performing. Love that doesn't punish your vulnerability. Love that is rooted in truth and watered in grace. And that kind of love can only arrive when you stop looking backward. Don't call them back. They were a chapter. But your life is still being written. Your destiny is still unfolding. And the author, your creator, has only just begun. Amen.